This content, including all video, audio, images, text, and metadata, may not be copied, scraped, recorded, reproduced, mined, trained on, analyzed, or used in any dataset, algorithm, model, or derivative work by any entity, whether human, AI, automated system, bot, or other instrumentality, without explicit written consent from the content owner. All rights reserved.
Hey everybody, welcome to the AI Business Launch Challenge. So we have our 7 winners in here and a whole bunch of awesome other people who want to learn how to build their own AI business. And this is week 2, session 1. So we're going to be doing the MVP building workshop. So just hold any questions and things towards the end. Make sure you mute your mics. And here we go. So let me share my screen real quick. Let's see. Just a second. I think that's it. Okay. So here we go. There's my screen. I think everybody can see it. All right. So last week we covered, kind of how to get your idea, how to kind of get ready with your workflow, get all the things necessary and prep for building. And I've been talking to people who are the winners in our private chat, and a lot of them are nervous, well, we need a lot more time to build. And the key is that you want to spend most of your time validating the problem, like talking with people about the problem, learning about the problem. That's 80% of your time. So don't worry. We want to build the more you know about the problem, the easier it is to build something to solve it, and especially build something simple, not necessarily complicated. Complicated doesn't mean better, by the way. Just want to let you know that. Okay, so here we go. This is building your working AI automation today. So we're gonna, if you can work on it with me when we get to the lab part, then you can do that, no problem. But you can watch this video later as well. So it's 90 minutes this time, a little bit longer. By the end of the session, you'll have a working MVP. You can demo to potential customers. That would be awesome. So let's go. All right, so the session structure is we got the readiness check. Are you ready to build? The build framework, the 5-phase building process, the AI toolkit, every AI prompt you need, the building phase, and in troubleshooting and testing and demo prep. So we're going to get through that. And the building, we'll do it at the end, but I'm going to show you the whole process here. Okay, so readiness check. Do you have everything? Before we start building, verify you have all 5 requirements. So we need to have the workflow blueprint. That's a complete step-by-step workflow map, AI generated from session 2. And I can show you down here. Let's see, I'll put it on the next slide, but we'll get to that where I'll show you how to get to that if you need it, those who are watching this video. List all tools, APIs needed, AI prompts for each AI processing step. So make sure we have all that. And ideally all accounts created if you want to work on it now. If you need an end-to-end account, you can, there's one that's included with AI Titus. It's like $8 a month or whatever it is. So try to keep it as low as possible. If you need OpenAI or any other API keys, you might need to set those up. If you need an Airtable account, any other services. So you got to set all that stuff up. And then, of course, all your API keys are ready. Usually copy and paste them and have them in a place that you can use them. And then basic init familiarity, just to log in, understand what a node is, know how to add nodes to Canvas. If you don't know these things and you're watching the video, you can always just stop and go and YouTube. There's a ton of videos. Nate Herc has awesome videos about how to do nodes and just learn about the basics. Make sure your why is clear. So you know who you're building this for, and you can explain the problem you're solving in 1 sentence. So just make sure you can solve it, explain in 1 sentence. All right, so you're missing something, do this first. So you don't have the workflow blueprint, you go back to session 2, slides 27. And I think that's, let's see where it is. Let me find it real quick. Session 2, 27. Let me find it real quick because I can bring that up maybe for us. Okay, let me share this screen here. Let's do session 2. Okay, so here we have I'm just going to show you, this is back from session 2. This is slide 27. So an AI powered workflow generator. So make sure you have this done. This is the whole map for it. Create the workflow. And so make sure that's what you use to generate. I'm going to go back to the other screen. And we are back. here. So if you don't have that blueprint, that's what I showed you. Go back. There's a button here, take you back to session 2 on the presentation. No accounts or API keys. Make sure you got N8N access somewhere, OpenAI, Airtable, so forth. Lots of YouTube videos if you need help finding that. I never used it before, like I said, then you got to go check out some videos on, it's not that hard. Don't freak out. It's not that hard, actually. So if you have all five items previous from the slide, you're ready to go. So let's go. And by the way, I put this hit next because I'm trying to make this presentation something that you could do without me presenting. So that's why you'll see that in here. Okay, the MVP mindset, this is very important. MVP stands for minimum viable product. That means get it out as soon as possible, something that could sell. Obviously, a car with 3 tires is not an MVP. You have to have 4. You got to make sure it's a working product. So your goal is to get something working, not build the perfect product, and that is important, right? You got to make sure that perfect is not what you're shooting for. It's ultimately the long-term goal, but it's not the release goal. So don't do this. Build all features at once. Never do that. People do this all the time. Spend 2 hours on air handling or the UI. Don't do that. I've done that so many times, right? The perfect UI before testing, you don't need that. Add nice to have features like, oh, I should add this, or let me add this extra thing. Don't do that. And don't overthink every decision, right? This is perfection in disguise as diligence, or you might say productivity, but it will kill your momentum. You don't want to kill your momentum. You want to get your idea out as soon as possible. So do this instead. So build the core workflow only. Happy path first, errors later. So get something working. And then manual steps are okay for now. So you can do some manual things. Test the fake data ASAP, ship it, then improve it. That's what I want you to focus on, is ship it and then improve it. So this is how real products get built. Iterate based on feedback, like learn, update, release. Learn, update, release. That's what you should be doing. Don't pretend or that you would know everything ahead of time. So ship it, then improve it. That's the goal. The 80-20 rule for MVPs. So 20% of the features deliver 80% of the value. Build that 20% first. That's the key. Meeting notes automation, like we talked about last week, doesn't need fancy formatting, calendar integration, or CRM updates on day 1. It needs notes and a summary and an email. That's it. Let's just get it done. When in doubt, ask your AI co-founder, which we like to focus on here. Is feature X, in the brackets, that's where you'd put something that you're asking about, essential for my MVP, or can I add it later? Let AI help you prioritize. AI is going to help you not procrastinate. AI is going to help you prioritize. Those are all important things. All right, the 5-phase build process we talked about. Every workflow gets built in this exact order, pretty much. Like you got to have a trigger, right? So set up what starts your automation. So something triggers it. For example, an email comes in or a field is added to an Airtable. Phase 2, data collection. Get all input data you need. So you want to fetch any data that comes in from like, let's say, Airtable or a webhook or something. Get all that data, verify it, get everything correct. And then, of course, we add an AI processing, but this could be any type of processing, any type of API, which is, like we said, a phone number that you can call to a company, give them what they need, like ordering pizza, the toppings and so forth, and they'll send it to you. So this could be an API phase as well. But we're going to have AI in this one. So this is where you can add intelligence nodes with all these different ways, OpenAI, Claude, so forth. And then actions, like take action. Once you have the data, once you have AI doing something with it or an API, then you might send an email, you might confirm some other things, you might message someone, and then finally end-to-end test. So run the complete workflow, like make sure it all works. People don't make sure the whole thing works, everything flows properly, and then record a demo, which we have something new that's on here. All right, why this order matters. Well, build sequentially, test constantly. Don't build your entire workflow and then test. You'll waste hours debugging, right? So here's the thing. The right way is to add node 1, test it, confirm it works. Then the next node, then the next node until the workflow is complete. This way, when something breaks, you know exactly which node caused it. A lot of times people try and like either import a node and they don't know how everything works, or they build the whole thing out, like sketch it out, and then they try and run it. So the wrong way is to add 10 nodes, click execute, get 5 errors, spend 1 hour debugging, can't figure out which node is the problem, give up. That's the main thing, is people give up. So don't do this. Build incrementally. All right, make sure something works, then continue to the next step. This will help you debug what happens when it's wrong. So here's an AI prompt for planning your build order. So you would say, I need to build this workflow in N8N. This is where you paste your workflow description of like what we've previously has been covered in another session. Break this down to the exact order I should add nodes following this pattern. So you might say start the trigger, data collection, so forth and so forth. For each step, tell me which specific node to add, what to configure, how to test just that node before moving on, okay? So, and give me a step-by-step checklist. I want this to be for beginners, but you can be advanced too. This is still good for you. So this is just how to get things going. Remember, your AI co-founder is like your teacher, your consultant, all those things all rolled into one. So how to test each node. N8N's testing features, right? So every node has a test or execute node button. Use it constantly. Those of you who have used N8N, you can check it out. Those of you who haven't, you'll see it in any type of tutorial that you do, or today if we do something today. And so testing the workflow, add your first node, click test workflow, make sure it works. If it's an endpoint, then you'll have to test hitting that endpoint. If it's an Airtable thing, then you'll have to test like adding something to Airtable. And this all makes sense. Don't worry, it's gonna make sense. Check the output, make sure there's a checkbox and it has some information. If you double click it, I'll walk you through that. Inspect the data, click on the node to see what data is returned, see if everything's proper. If there's an error message, fix and test again if you know how to fix it. And I'll tell you how if you don't know how to fix it. Number 6, if success, add the next node and repeat. So this is a very slow process, but you get it all working. Now, you eventually in the very next few months, or even now, you could probably have AI build most of your workflow. But just in case that's not working too well, then this is the steps that you would take. But I'll obviously always have AI build everything for you if you can. So what success looks like, green check mark on the node or a check mark there, output data appears when you click the node, data structure looks correct. So you know it's all working if everything is checked off and working good. So here's some common success, but actually wrong, and this is something to pay attention to. So you might see a check mark, but there's empty data. That's why you want to double check the data. It returns the wrong format, like something's wrong with the structure, or it's missing expected fields. So you might still get a checkbox, but you got to double check to make sure the information you're getting back is what you want or expect. So always click the node and inspect the actual output data. That's very important because you might get a false positive if you see a checkbox and it's empty. So when testing fails, like I talked about, copy the error message and use this prompt. I'm getting this error in N8N, so you copy the error. My node configuration is, and you can describe it, or you could export the workflow and put it into there if you wanted as a file. But you might just be able to explain it. This is a Gmail workflow. This is a Gmail node or something, and they'll get a good idea. What's wrong and how do I fix it? And believe it or not, this works a lot. All right. So the next step, your power tools for building. So there's ChatGPT, Claude. These are your primary co-pilots, co-founders, co-coders, whatever you want to call it. You can use them for planning, debugging, prompt writing, decision-making, and workflow development. So I would advise you use GPT-5 or Claude Sonnet 4.5. Just use the latest models. You can always try other LLMs, just they may or may not work as good. So this is my advice. Then there's another thing called N8N MCP. Now, this is really cool. Model Context Protocol is a kind of a way for AI to work with tools seamlessly. So this one connects to Claude, and it actually will build out your workflow and help you debug your workflow, build a workflow. So that's something to look into. It's more advanced, but that's a step you can take, all for building your power tools. Then N8N documentation. I'll show you a little bit about how to, you might not be able to understand what it is when you read it, but official docs for every node, integration, search when you need specifics, and you're going to use AI for that. Then there's the N8N community, like community.n8n.io. There's workflow templates at this link, which you can look at later. So you can look at some that are already built and kind of get an idea of what people are doing. You can also go on YouTube and search N8N and then what you need help with tutorial. That is very helpful. If you're a visual learner, there's tons of N8N workflows on YouTube. So, and also the ones that are from N8N themselves, right here, N8N workflows. Next slide shows you the best channels, or the ones that I prefer. And then pro strategy, start with ChatGPT Claude for planning and building your workflows. Use N8N MCP for deeper Claude integration if you really want something that's going to help you. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but it'll save you a lot of time. And that will, you can actually be in N8N and it will build it out for you, which is cool. Now, if you have an N8N subscription with N8N.io, they have that in their feature as well. So it might be worth looking into that. They have a workflow builder too. You can reference official end-to-end docs and community for specific guidance. Watch YouTube if you need help walking through stuff. So here's our AI prompt library. This is like where the gold is. So you can copy paste prompts for every situation. I want to make sure you're prepared with your co-founder to help you do everything you need for this AI business. So the next 5 slides contain ready to use AI prompts for every phase of building. So you can bookmark this page. So how to use these prompts: copy the entire prompt, paste it into ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever LLM you're using. Fill in the bracketed sections with specifics. So that's the area that you're going to fill in with information that you have. And then let AI guide you. All right, let it help you. Trust it. Trust the AI in this case. AI prompts is getting started. So break down my workflow into end-to-end nodes. So I need to build this workflow. Here's what it does. Help me build this. And this is the first one. So this would kind of get ready to go. This is your prep time to get those end-to-end nodes kind of what they should be. And then this is authentication and credentials. So prompt number 4, I need to connect, and then the service name, like OpenAI, for example, to end-to-end using their API. Help me, or you could say the node, the OpenAI node, whatever you want to do. Help me, where do I get my API key from? This is important. Step by step, how do I create the credentials? How to authenticate type should I use? What authentication type should I use? What fields do I need to fill? This is really awesome. It's so amazing to have. It's like having me, but the AI, and it's a lot smarter and better. So give me example steps like I'm following a recipe. So this is good for getting any API steps that you might need. And then if you get authentication errors, which sometimes happens, I'm getting an authentication error in end-to-end. So that means like I'm trying to set up, let's say, Gmail or Airtable, and it's giving you some error, like you can't connect or some sort of authentication error. So what you do is you just paste it in there, service name, describe what's going on, just like this says, and then ask it what's going on, what's the problem. And then sometimes there's OAuth setup, which is a way to kind of configure how to connect with an API and so forth. So you might do, this is the same prompt for helping you with like Google Sheets or something, how to connect with it. And you would say things like, I've never set up OAuth before, so walk me through. So remember, that's a good phrase to use in any prompt that you're doing. If you don't have, if you're not sure how to do it, or you're not very good at it, just say, I have no idea. I've never done this before. And AI will frame its answers in that way. So that part is the authentication and credentials, which does get people stuck a lot of times. So I'm hoping that these prompts will help you get past that. You can also look on YouTube, tons of great videos to help you there. Love YouTubers. All right, AI prompts, AI node configuration. So write my AI prompt. So I'm using OpenAI and end-to-end to do this. So for example, like if in the case that we might be working on, like summarizing a meeting, I want to know what kind of prompt should I write? Like, what's the best prompt for this? So you kind of describe what you need to do. You describe like what's coming in, like I'm going to have meeting notes or something like that. And then what do I want to provide? Like I want a summary of 3 to 4 sentences, whatever you want for your output from the AI. So you got your inputs, you got your outputs. This is what I'm going to give you, AI, and this is what I want to have come out. I need you to write a prompt for it. I do this all the time. So when I help companies. And then the output format, do you want it like JSON, all these different formats? And you might just want it text, so that's fine. And then write me a clear, effective prompt I can paste into end-to-end OpenAI node, for example. And you would want the system message, like from the system, the user prompt, any formatting instructions, and the output structure definition. So this is all stuff that AI can help you with. So when you have AI in your node, which you may not understand what that means yet, but it'll become clear as you get more familiar with it. You've got an OpenAI node. You got to tell it a prompt, like what's it supposed to do? Like what are you giving it and what's it supposed to give you? And so that's what this is generating, that prompt. So what if the AI output's not good enough, which I find a lot of times if you're just beginning, and that is like you run the prompt, it outputs something, but it's just not exactly what you wanted. So you would say my AI node in end-to-end is giving poor results. So you give the prompt, because AI needs to know, okay, what's the prompt that I need to look at? You want to give it the input, like let's just say it's meeting notes. So here's the meeting notes that I gave that prompt. And then here's the output that I'm getting. This is very important. So this is kind of what's happening when the prompt is being used. And so AI can look at it and say, I see the problem. Maybe you forgot to prompt it in this way. Maybe it's confusing. So what's wrong? So you say, it's like, it's not working that well. It's not in the right tone of voice, or whatever you want to say. And what you actually want. So describe all these things. It's a very awesome prompt, and you should use this for anything, honestly. if AI is not working well for you and it's in some sort of prompt you're using, go ahead and use this prompt. It's very useful. And then accessing data in AI prompts. So in it, I need to pass data from a previous node into my AI prompt. And this is something that you should probably know how to do even from tutorials, but just in case you get stuck and you're not sure, I've seen some posts on school where people have, when you look at their screenshot, you know that they don't know how to do this. And so this will help you make sure that when you have the OpenAI node and you want to pass it over to maybe the email node, how am I going to do that? So that's what you'll do in here. You'll describe what you need and what you need to do. This will help you. You might not even ever use this one, but it's helpful to have if you get stuck and you're not sure how to pass data from one node to the other node. This is good stuff. All right, AI prompts, data mapping, and passing. So prompt 10, data not passing between nodes. So there's some sort of issue. Sometimes there's an error. There's not working properly. This is where you'll use this specific prompt, okay? And you'll know if you need it. Like you'll know, hey, something's not getting from node 1 to node 2. I need help with that. So there's no data passing across. Transform data. Like you might need to transform data. So you might need to take, for example, something called an array, like a lot of stuff. You might need to put it into individual items that you're going to go through in a loop. All these different things, you might not be sure what to do. So if you have a data structure, like let's say binary data, so you downloaded a video and you want to do something with the video, well, you need to know like what format is it in and what can I do with that format. So if you need to transfer data between two nodes and add it in, just ask, like, here's the current data structure, so you could paste it. Maybe it's an array or an object of stuff. It's a whole bunch of stuff you just copy from the previous node. And then you're like, well, I need this structure though. I don't want all, let's say the array returns all the names of people in every department, and you just wanted specific departments or specific names or whatever, you could have it filter that. And that's what's going to help you do is transform this data. And you could use a code node or other nodes. It's going to, do I need a set node? Do I need a code node? Do I need any type of node that I would need? It'll give you that advice. This is really good. Remember, AI knows pretty much everything about this stuff. And if it doesn't, you can go to YouTube and find stuff or ping me. It's no problem. And then understanding node output. So let's say you get something out of it. You're like, I'm not sure what this is. Like I just talked about, an array. You're like, I don't know what that is. So you can copy and paste it in, tell it what it is. So this is coming from, let's say, Airtable. And this is what I'm getting. Like, what do I need? What is this? Like, what do I need from this data? Seriously, it could be that simple. So remember to, if you get stuck on any way, you can always paste it in and use these prompts to help you move forward and not get stuck. Okay, now here's some general debugging. Maybe your workflow just has an error, so something happens. So paste in your error, talk about the node and what you're trying to do and the node configuration, maybe a screenshot is cool. And then what you tried to fix it. And then it'll diagnose the problem. And so this is, I know it's a lot of prompts for everybody, but these are gold for you to be able to use as you're building, okay? You're gonna come back to them, and you're gonna be able to find them. And then prompt 14, workflows runs but wrong output. So something's happening in the workflow and it's running, but something's not coming out correctly. This is going to help you fix that. And you'll probably get, after a while, you're going to get a good at this, and you won't need these examples. You're going to have a good understanding of how to write these prompts. But this is going to help you no matter what from a beginner. And then a lot of times, it's not all the time, but if you're really successful or you're using a free service, you can hit a rate limit or API limit. That means that you're allowed to, like using the pizza shop API idea, you're allowed to call only so many times. And if you call too many times, then they don't answer anymore. So that's what like a rate limit is, or an API limit. So you might be hitting a rate limit and you're like, hey, I'm OpenAI getting this rate limit. This is from OpenAI. This is the error. How often do I run this thing? And then like, what's the limits? Like maybe I don't know the limits. How can I avoid hitting the limits? It might say, well, maybe you upgrade to the next plan. Do I need any delay between calls? Sometimes there's rate limiting where if you try and call too many times at the same time, it's going to stop or slow you down. That's called rate limiting, how many times you can call. And so, and should I batch my request? That means like, for example, instead of hitting it a whole bunch of times, can I just hit it one time with a lot of stuff and it'll come back? That's another idea. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here that you can use for that one. And then common problems and solutions. So you can't connect to service. So authentication errors, credential failures, it's probably the wrong API key. API key is not activated, wrong authentication type selected. Sometimes you're trying to post to something. And by the way, if this doesn't make sense, AI is going to help you make sense. So if you're trying to post to something, it's supposed to be a GET request. could give you an error. So things like that. And that's where AI is going to help you. It'll notice it, by the way. And then you might have expired credentials. So you just need to delete the credential in it in, go to services website and regenerate an API key, create a new credential in it in, make sure you copy the entire key, no spaces, and then test the connection. So that could be a problem sometimes, is the cannot connect to service. Field X not found. This happens many times. So you can't access data from previous nodes. So let's say there's a node that was from Airtable, and you're trying to get some sort of field from it, but Airtable didn't send that field. So it could be a typo in the name, could be the wrong node reference, like you're picking the wrong node. You're like, it's not supposed to come from Airtable. It's supposed to come from this particular node, right? And so you picked the wrong one, maybe by accident. Or maybe the data structure changed. So you had a structure and way that you were parsing it. Don't worry about these words. AI can help you understand them. But it's trying to parse it, and then it can't find the things because the way you've told it to look for things. So in this case, what you do is you could move forward to that. Yeah, and then one other someone said is API deprecated or problems like that, which means an API is no longer working. And a lot of times that can be through third-party APIs who are trying to like scrape LinkedIn and so forth. A lot of third-party, and third-party just means they're not the owner. So it's kind of like DoorDash. They're the third party to the pizza place to do delivery, right? So if they stop delivering, you can't get the pizza anymore. So there's third parties who've kind of partnered with or not partnered with LinkedIn, for example, and they scrape the site. Maybe they're not allowed to do that, but they're selling their API to you. So those can be deprecated, which means destroyed or removed, especially by LinkedIn. So you want to go not with third-party API if you can. Like you always want to go first. You want to go right to the source. See if LinkedIn has an API and so forth. Because if you rely on third parties, sometimes those can get shut down or sued or whatever, and then your whole system breaks. So, all right, and then so you click on the previous node, get the exact output, find the exact field name, like what it is. Use correct syntax. See, this is a problem. Sometimes people don't use the correct syntax when they're doing things. If it's nested data, you might use something like this. There's other ways when you drag and drop, but I'll cover that. A lot of stuff. Okay, common problem solution part 2. AI output is garbage, and this happens sometimes. So AI returns generic, wrong, or unusable content. The prompt's too vague, not giving. So these are things that I talked about that that you can cover in the prompt that will help you refine your prompt. So go, like I said, to prompt number 7. Sorry, and rewrite your prompt. That way you can get it rewritten. All right. And you may want to switch to a better model, so that like maybe you're using GPT-4, maybe you use GPT-4 Mini or GPT-5 or whatever you want to use. Whatever you're using, switch between those models. And so AI prompt, use number 8. AI output not good enough. You can use that AI prompt. So rate limiting exceeded. OpenAI Anthropic return rate limit errors, and you can go back and use that prompt to fix that. That's just too many requests too fast. Free tier reached. Or testing workflow repeatedly causes this, to keep hitting it over and over again. So don't keep hitting it over and over again. What I would recommend as a note in this one is you can copy the output that you get from an API, and then you can pin it. You can pin it. You can edit the response, paste it in, pin it, and it won't hit the API anymore. It'll just be the data there to test with. And I can show you steps like that. All right, common problems. Workflow executes, but nothing happens. This is so frustrating. So there's green check marks, but no output action. So maybe the action node is misconfigured, empty data is being passed, or the wrong email recipient destination, all kinds of different things. So you want to use the workflow runs, but wrong output prompt for that one. And then maybe it worked once, now it doesn't. That's the worst. So it used to work and suddenly it fails. Maybe something's wrong with one of the APIs, the keys are expired, the service has an update, or they changed something, or you've got your free tier limit reached. So this is something that you want to use the general error debugging prompt to kind of find out what the problem is. But you can also check execution logs from error messages. You can test the trigger to see if anything new's coming in. A lot of different things you can do. When stuck, paste the entire error log into ChatGPT or Claude. It can often spot the issue immediately. This is very helpful. So remember that. That's probably the best thing for you, is if it's an error, paste it into your co-founder. All right, so lastly, we can find some help on YouTube. So you can search like this. You can say init your specific task tutorial. It's like Airtable to OpenAI tutorial. This is very helpful for anybody who's trying to get tutorials. I like Nate Herc. He's awesome. He's at Nate Herc, and he does really good tutorials for free. There's the official channel here for init. You can learn from Moji, who has good stuff, Jason West, and Workflow Chronicles. These are all pretty good folks. But remember, you can also search channel name like Nate Herc plus your use case for specific help. So Nate Herc implementing Airtable, for example. That's helpful. Okay, here's what to watch for. Node configuration screens, pause and copy those settings. Sometimes they'll actually include the JSON that you can import that whole workflow into your init, so that's cool. How they handle errors. Learn the debugging process, like what happens when they handle errors. What do they do? How do they deal with it? Data mapping techniques. How do they pass data between nodes? Like how are they doing it? How are they dragging? Are they typing in things? What are they doing? And then AI prompt structures. So still good prompts, take good prompts, whatever you need to do. But since you have your co-founder, a lot of times you can do that yourself. So you might want to use AI to find relevant tutorials. So I need to learn how to blank in init. Search YouTube and find 3 to 5 good tutorial videos that show this stuff here. Preferably, we always want it to make sure it's newer, because older ones, as I'll cover down here, may not work too good. So we want to watch out for older tutorials. They may show outdated init interface or things that don't work, right? UI might look different. A lot of times it's hard when you see a tutorial and the UI is different. Like it's an old init, you're not sure what to do. So try and get new ones that are 2024, 2025. And you want to give me the title, the video title, channel name, link, and maybe a brief description of what it covers. Gemini Pro is really good at finding YouTube videos and summarizing them. Some of the other large language models like OpenAI and Claude, they don't seem to do so well in actually loading up the video, but because Google owns Gemini and they own YouTube, it seems like they got better access there. Just a good tip there. All right, finally, init documentation and community resources. So you can go to the official init resources, the node library, the workflow templates, go to community and post there. They have a Discord channel. You can go to Reddit/init as a subreddit. So ask AI to search docs for you. This is what I was talking about earlier. So let's say you're not sure what to do and you think it might be in the init docs. Maybe you can't find it anywhere else. You say search the init documents for, and then what you need. And I would include the URL in there too. So you don't have to, but it's a good idea to give it some pointers. And then find me the link to the relevant doc, summary of the key points, example configuration if available, which they do have sometimes, and common issues to watch for. Those are good. Another cool thing is called init chat. This works in your browser like a plugin for Chrome or whatever, and it's kind of neat. You can check it out. It's chat.com. It's kind of fun. And this one is some person who's built a cool thing that helps kind of edit your init. It's not like init MCP, which is much better, but it's pretty cool. So you might check it out. And so how to search docs effectively? If you did this yourself, you go to docs, you go to the search bar, you type in something like Airtable or webhook trigger, and then read the operations and example section. That's going to show you all the details, and copy example configurations and adapt to your needs. So that's a way to do it manually. That's pretty much what AI is going to do right here. So I'd recommend using AI, but if it's not working or something's wrong, you can go straight to the documents and use this strategy, manual. So when you're really stuck, here's the unstuck process. Step 1, always ask AI first. You always should. Use one of the AI prompts from slide 11 to 15. Be specific about the exact error message, what you're trying to do, what you've already tried. AI solves 80% of issues instantly, sometimes more. So I want you to put a little sticky note on your desk and your computer. Ask AI first. That's the first step. Step 2, if you're more advanced, is if you really want something to kind of build it out for you, you can go to the init MCP and set that up locally, as well as init locally. There's a lot of cool stuff that works. I've noticed that init has also put a GitHub where you can actually get their AI system working locally in a Docker container. I know if these words don't make sense, it's okay. But this is just for more advanced. I think step 1 is going to cover almost all the time. If you want to skip step 2, that's fine. That's just a really helpful step that I can use sometimes to build out init workflows. Step 3 is awesome. You can always do this, search the community forum or use AI to search the community forum. and search for your error. Someone has probably had the exact issue before. It's true. They probably have. And then step 4, you search YouTube. Like I said, end in your problem on YouTube. Make sure it's like, and say like, make sure it's 2023, recently uploaded, things like that, not really old videos. Watch 1 to 2 tutorials showing similar workflows. That's helpful. And then 5, you can post to the community if you get stuck. You can also post in here when we have our answer Q&As. The community forum is awesome. And then Discord is awesome. And so just remember that when you post something, explain exactly what you're trying to build, exact error message with a screenshot. See, some people just say, hey, my Gmail's not working. It's not enough. So put the screenshot, what you've already tried, and your workflow screenshot without sensitive data if you have something in there. This is the most important part. I want you to take a moment here. Don't give up. Every builder hits walls. Every builder builds walls. The difference between success and failure is pushing through this moment. So I want to let you know you're learning a new skill. So frustration is part of the process. I want you to remember that, because every time I've tried to learn something new, I've always been frustrated. It's hard. You're not comfortable with it. It feels like you can't even do it, whether it's learning a language or building something or coding or whatever it is. You're going to feel, you know you're healthy when you feel like you can't do anymore. Like, know that is a healthy feeling. Like if you feel like I just can't do this, I have no idea, I'm so lost, that's healthy. That's natural. So if you feel that, know that you're growing. If you don't feel that, you might not be growing. Probably already know it. So when you feel stuck, ask your AI co-founder. When you feel stuck, connect with the community on School, Discord. When you feel stuck, people are going to encourage you. So remember, if you're stuck, that's good, because it means you're moving forward. You're getting to things that are difficult and hard, and those are going to make you grow. So that's the one thing. Don't give up. Here's a little secret for you. Is simplify when you're stuck. So you can't get the full workflow working, which I'm sure has happened to everyone who's on this call. Something's complicated, it's not working. Build a simpler version first. I can't stress this enough. So skip problematic integrations, do them manually for now, maybe some test data just for your demo, whatever you're going to do. Use manual trigger instead of complex trigger. Try something manually. Test with hard-coded data, like I said, instead of dynamic data, and get something working. Then add complexity. Start with what works. When you get something that works, you get good feedback, you get positive feedback. If nothing ever works, it's going to be very discouraging. So roll back, get what works, like we said, node by node, and then, or build it simpler. Build it simpler. In fact, you can ask AI, how can I build this simpler? It's too complicated. I'm getting too many errors. It's too difficult. Ask your co-founder. It'll help you. All right, so here we go. MVP scope decisions. What to include now versus later. I'm sure all of you who are working on this challenge have had the problem of, and I'm going to show you. You must have an MVP, a core workflow, right? Everything must work. Trigger, process, output. So trigger is kind of input. Process is the black box that does all its magic, and then output is what comes out. AI processing that delivers value. You want to make sure it does that. One clear deliverable to a customer. So hopefully you have your problem from week 1. You know exactly kind of what you're solving, and you kind of know a rough idea of who your customer is. So that's important. And a happy path when everything works. You got to have that. You got to have everything has to work. So this is the 20% that delivers 80% of value. Remember that. 20% that delivers 80%. So skip for now. You can add to later versions. Any error handling, just for now. You always want to put it in. Edge cases like, oh, what happens if someone does this specific thing that's rare? That's an edge case. Perfect formatting, multiple output options, admin dashboards, custom notifications, integration with every tool. These are nice to haves that slow you down. Remember, you don't want the nice to haves. And if you have a question about it, you can always ask your co-founder, is this a nice to have or must have? Is this the 20% or the 80%? Is this the 20% value, or is this that delivers 80%, or the 80% that delivers 20%? So here's an example for the meeting notes idea that from the previous session. Like the version 1 MVP includes Airtable form for notes input. And I might make it even simpler. You just input it directly into the table itself. AI summarization, email to attendees, update Airtable was sent. That is good. Here's what happens. People are they're building it out. And they're like, wait, we should put a calendar in here. We should put a calendar. We should do CRM updates. Let's do some Slack notifications. Maybe we should have custom email templates or follow-up reminders. How about an analytics dashboard? All these things are real tempting and exciting. but you need to stick to version 1. So version 2 and all those things can come later. People build all this stuff way too soon, and they don't even have a customer. So I would say that these would be rewards for a customer, and maybe they're not good at all. Maybe your customer doesn't want any of these things. Or maybe you know that your customers will want Slack notifications. You can unlock that. It's just like a game. As soon as you launch MVP 1, version 1, then these are unlocked. These are unlocks. You get to pass the boss. The boss is the getting the money. Once you pass the boss, it unlocks these cool things. So it's kind of a reward for getting your first customer, are these extra things that you feel tempted to add. So just put these in a little notes area or some sort of document. Just dump all those ideas in there. It's very good. Later on, when you want to add features, you should already know about the problem and the customers who are buying and what the problems they're having and how to improve it. But you can also ask AI. So here we go. AI prompt, another one. I try and give you these all the time. I'm building this automation. So here it is. Help me describe what must be an MVP versus what can wait. So for my MVP, I should focus on the minimum features, simplest implementation. Tell me what absolutely essential for MVP. What should I say for V2? Is there anything I can do manually for first customers? It's very important. Manual is good because you're not going to get 1,000 customers the first day. And if you do get 1,000 customers the first day, you'll have the cash flow to hire everyone you need to make it work fast. Most people try and build things for thousands or millions of customers, but they never get one. So remember that. Perfect is the enemy of done. Ship your MVP. So you don't want to be perfect. Done is your friend. Perfect is not. Ship your MVP, get feedback, then improve. Build something that helps people. Doesn't have to be perfect, but if you help someone with something they have a problem with and it helps their life be better, that's a win. Okay, here we go. So your MVP is complete. So here, after you've built everything out, you're going to go through all these steps. You're going to build things out, and you're going to do tutorials and all the things you need to do. You want to make sure your workflow runs end to end without errors. That's very important. AI output is accurate and useful. Not perfect, but good enough. If it's not perfect, that's okay. Final deliverable reaches the customer. So did you send an email? Did something get updated? Make sure that works. Because sometimes people make a workflow, but the email never gets sent. So the workflow said it worked, but when you check your email, something didn't happen. So double check that. You've tested with 3 different inputs and all worked. So 3 different things that you try to do, not just one. You can explain how it works in 60 seconds. This is critical, right? You got to be able to explain how it works. Someone else could use it with minimal instruction. That's very important. So if you have to put little notes, if you've noticed in Nate's videos, he has little colored boxes and you put things in those boxes and describe what's happening in those times. That's something you could do. Be as descriptive as possible. Make notes because you may eventually hire someone to update this. It's good to have those notes and helps you too. So test 1 for your testing protocol. Perfect scenario, clean data, ideal input, right? So these are coming in. Test 2, messy data. So maybe kind of mess up the data and see if you can break it. That's important if you're testing. And by the way, don't do testing this early. This is something once you finish an MVP and everything's working well, you can do some testing. And then minimal data, like some sort of bare minimum stuff. So if all 3 tests produce acceptable results, MVP is done. Okay, so you're probably gonna get test 1 working. Then I want you to mess around with test 2 and test 3 to see if you can break it, because sometimes that information may come in. Don't spend a ton of time on it, but try and get this working. Don't over test. You don't need to test 100 scenarios. You need to prove it works for the best case. Real user feedback will reveal actual issues faster than you trying to imagine every edge case. So that's very important. So people always try and estimate or guess what the problem is going to be. Just have a problem. All right, so here we go. Now, what good enough looks like. AI summary captures key points, even if it's not perfectly worded. This is for that one example that I've highlighted. Email arrives and is readable. Even if formatting isn't beautiful, don't worry. If the problem's big enough, it doesn't matter how it looks. Data is saved correctly, even if not optimally structured. That's okay. Your first customers care about solving their problem, not perfection. In fact, if the problem's big enough, you could send them a text message and that would be enough. We're going to get to the point where we're going to do something in a minute. So we're almost done with this part of the presentation. All right, so once you've got your MVP working, what do you do? And this is stuff for this week you can work on. If you happen to have yours done early, this is stuff that you can work on. So just be thinking about this in your head. You can make it if you want. So why record a demo? Well, it proves your MVP works for yourself and others, shows potential customers what they're getting, helps you refine your pitch, and documents your progress. So all those things are important. Move you forward, make you think of things. That's very important to have. How to record your demo. You can use Loom, OBS Studio, which is a little more complicated, Zoom, and some other ones out there, whatever you want. So you start recording, you show the problem. So like, for example, if I did something, I would say, look, here's a note that I have that's in my database. And I don't want to have to go through and contact all the people with the summary and action items. So what do I do? So then you might not show your workflow, by the way, in the video, depending on your audience. If you're selling workflows or help people with workflows, maybe that's something you'd show. But you just want to show the problem and solution. So you're like, watch this. And maybe you hit a button and the button triggers the workflow, checks the email, and then maybe you check your email and show, hey, look, see, so here's an email to the person on the list, attendees, and that has a summary and action items. That's what it does. Very simple. So you can show the email and then explain the value. See, like, what would this save you? Like, how much time would this save you? Do you summarize all your meeting notes? Do you miss a lot of action points? Do you not follow up? All those things can be done with just a push of a button. So keep it simple. Should be only 2 to 3 minutes max. Like max. Keep it short. Think about the problem. Speak to the emotion. Don't talk about the techniques. Like, and by the way, I have a fast latency with Airtable, and we optimize this data. No one cares about that. All they care about is I have meeting notes. You push a button, and a minute later, I've got those meeting notes summarized in my email. That's all they care about. And say that'll save you a lot of time. So here's a demo script template. So I'm showing you X. The problem is blank. The solution is, and this is what AI can help you with too, by the way. So time saved, cost, and then whatever you need. So these are just, it's a demo idea. So good demos show real input data, not like some people do this all the time, like some sort of demo. Do real stuff, not lorem ipsum text. The workflow actually executing. You don't have to show that if it's not related, but you just have to show something's happening. It's not just faked. And then tangible output, like your email, updated database, and then clear before and after comparison. So you could say, how long would it have taken you to summarize this and create this output that was done in 30 seconds? Like, well, I don't know, that would take me half an hour maybe. So that's good to know. Don't show your code or configurations. Customers don't care, like I said. Explain every technical detail. No one cares. Now, you may get people who need to buy into this, and you may have to describe that. But because you know so much about this now, you'll be able to answer those questions. And AI can help you answer them. Record a 10-minute video. Like people, it's so long, short. And apologize what doesn't do. Like don't say, I know we want to have Slack notifications in there. We don't have it yet. Don't talk about the things missing. Talk about the solution and the problem solved. That's all you want to talk about. A lot of people are tempted to do this. Well, you know, we're going to have this. We're going to integrate with Zapier, whatever. Don't do that. Sell what is, not what isn't. So congrats. Your MVP done. Now what? So this is great. Hopefully those of you watching this video, because you're probably going to rewatch it, you'll get to this stage and congratulations. Might have taken a day, might have taken 5 days, might have taken 2 weeks. Doesn't matter. You've got here. So take a moment to celebrate. You just built a working automation from scratch. Most people never get to this. You did. Next 48 hours action plan. So this is what you need to do. Once you kind of got it working, record your demo video, test with real data 3 more times, write down known bugs, limitations, things that you know, right? Don't fix them yet though. Do not fix them. Just know, unless it's a bug that stops your business from working, obviously. Review your target customer list from session 2. Remember that it says that in there, it generates the customer list for you. Draft your outreach message and use the AI prompt from session 2. Before you reach out to customers, your demo video, make sure your demo video is recorded. It looks professional. Doesn't have to look perfect, just has to look good. Like, you know, try and make it look good. You can explain the value in 1 sentence. This is important. You know your pricing. So it's X dollars for a setup and Y dollars per month. You got to know that. Remember, AI helps you do that for session 2 of week 1. You've tested enough to be confident it works, because a lot of people don't test things. And you have a calendar link for booking demos or something if that's necessary. So have those all ready to go. Okay, so here's one of the final prompts. I just finished building my MVP. Go through this and say I want to have an outreach message. It's got a hook. Why I built it, how it helps. Offer to show them a quick demo. Easy call to action. You got to have that. Your MVP isn't perfect, so I want you to remember that you're not making a perfect product. The MVP, the P in perfect is not, the P in MVP is not perfect. The P is product. So get something out. That's okay. Your first customers are buying the solution. That's what, if you're not, if your problem isn't big enough, then they're not going to buy it. Like the problem's not big enough. So you want to buy a solution to a problem that people are going to pay for. It's not the perfect product. They'll help you make it better. Remember, this is important. Your customers are going to help you make it better. That's what you want. Because when your customers help you make it better, that's real data, not pretend. All right, so I'm done. But there's some questions. Should I keep building features before reaching out? No. Ship what you have, get feedback, build what customers actually want, not what you think they want. I can't stress that enough. Not what you think, but what reality dictates. What if customers find bugs? Well, they will, and that's expected. So say, thanks for catching that. I'll fix it today, and then fix it. Don't wait. Early customers are forgiving if you're responsive. That's very important. Make sure that you're very responsive. Because you have few customers, you can have a really fast response time. My automation isn't as good as established competitors, which you might think. Your advantage isn't features, it's customization and service. Big companies can't give personal attention. You can. A lot of companies, if they said, hey, can you fix this one thing? They're like, no, that's not in our dev cycle. We'll probably do that Q2 or Q3. I mean, that's a long time. But as an independent person who's small and agile, you can say, sure, I'll add that feature today, tomorrow, and get it fixed. Should I charge for my MVP or offer it free at first? Charge, even if it's discounted, even if it's $1, early adopter rate. Free equals no commitment. When people don't pay, they don't stay. So remember, you got to pay. They'll actually use it and give feedback if they're paying for it a lot of times. And if it's cheap enough, sometimes they won't even do that. So 50% off your planned price for the first 3 to 5 customers is a good idea. And AI can help you with this. What if they ask for features I don't have yet, right? This happens sometimes. There's always people who want more than you offer. The question is, do you solve the problem? So great, write it down and say, that's a planned feature. Would that be valuable for you? Learn what they really need before building it. Sometimes people have a nice to have. We want to have the must have, not the nice to have. Some might say, oh, this would be cool if it was in red. But that's not a must have, that's a nice to have. Now, if they said this needs to be in red because my business does X, then that's a must have. How many customers should I get before improving the product? Get 3 to 5 paying customers using the MVP. Their feedback will tell you what to build next. That's very good. So remember that. Can I do some steps manually for first customers? Yes, this is called Wizard of Oz MVP. So you remember the Wizard of Oz was in the background and he was behind the Wizard of Oz. There's a person. So automate the core value, do the rest manually if you have to. Because remember, you're not going to have 1,000 customers. You might only have 2. So you can do stuff manually and then you can build in automation. So customers care about what? Outcome, not how it happens. Remember that. Does this solve a real problem well enough that someone will pay for it? If yes, go get customers. If no, start again. So homework before session 4, which is week 2. I'm gonna put a bug here. It's supposed to be week 2, but primary goal is get your first customer, and we're gonna do that coming into week 3. But I want you to think about it. So week 3 is about sales, so that's coming up. So we're gonna be thinking about it. This week. We're gonna have 2 build processes this time and then coming up Saturday. So don't think that this is all going to be encompassed in just today. We're going to be able to do more on Saturday as well. So don't panic. But hopefully you can watch this video and help you move forward and keep building. But this week, session 2 of this week. So we have session 2. This is week 2, session 1 today. Week 2, session 2 is coming up, and that will be more building as well and more real-time building. I want to cover all the stuff here we can. So get your first customer. Be thinking about this. And just be thinking for week 3, which is coming up. Finish your MVP. So get it done. And use AI prompts, remember. Record your demo video. That's kind of a good marker that you're ready to go. Test it thoroughly. And reach out to those 5 potential customers. Just maybe letting them know something's coming, or would they be interested in testing it out once you know it's working. Because next week is our time. Week 3 is our time to really sell it. Right? This is build it, prepare to sell. Next week is sell. Or at least get sales, because you might not need to sell it as a salesperson. Book at least 1 demo if you can by the next session, or after the next session. Just keep thinking about that. If you have time, maybe you've done this and you're all ready to go. Build a simple landing page, and you can use AI to do that for you. Set up a payment method if you need to. This is stuff that will come into the sales cycle. Write FAQ document for common questions. That's good for Google SEO. or AI, SEO, AEO, whatever they call it. Create simple terms, privacy policy if you need, and you can use AI for that. Don't spend week 3 building. So this is what I want you to know. This is what you're coming into for week 3. The temptation will be just add one more feature. Just one more. I'm gonna add one more thing. Don't do that. Week 3 is about sales. That's it. So everything this week, and I want you to keep this in mind because it's coming up for week 3, is to be prepared for sales, but not what you lock in this week, you're going to use next week. No adding, no changing, unless you can get a huge customer or something, obviously. You learn more from talking to customers than from building in isolation. If you can't take away anything else from this particular session, that's the most important thing. So many people try and build in isolation or build in hypotheticals. I want you to build in reality and build with real data. Okay, final resources, and you got this. You want your AI co-pilot, your co-founder, ChatGPT, Claude, Init chat. That was a cool thing you could try out. Init MCP is awesome. Documentation, community. Get in a community of people, like a school or something that you can talk to people, and then you can do YouTube search, Init, and then what your case study is. Here's your session links, which you can access for 1 and 2, and then. All right, let's see. Remember, AI is your secret weapon. So you now have 50 copy-paste AI prompts to solve any problem developing. This is very important. Don't think you're stuck, and I can literally help you get out of it. So go back to slides 11 to 15 whenever you're stuck. You're building a real business. So most people talk about starting a business. You're actually doing it. You found a problem, validate it, map the solution, and today you built it, or you're building it. The hard part is done. Now you just need to show it to people. That's week 3. I'll see you in session 4. We'll talk about getting paid, and also we'll be doing more building. So let me pause it here because we're going to try and do like a 40-minute hands-on building session, but I'm not sure how much time we have, so we'll see. But let me stop real quick and see if there's any questions so far for those who are the winners, and then if there are no winner questions, then we can take it from the general audience. So does anybody have any questions so far about their starting off, maybe building out their workflow, things like that? Raise your hand or just...
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. I'm ready.
I was already trying to test my workflow.
Okay.
And it needed AI, obviously, OpenAI. So it said that 2-minute request. So I acknowledged that it was just because it's saying that I'm out of credits.
Yes.
Now, I am just a teenage. I don't want to indulge into some buying stuff and pricing. So I decided to use something else as an alternative.
Sure.
And I decided to go with OpenRouter.
Yes.
And decided to create an HTTP request, but I really don't know much about it. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Sure. Yeah, and I can do. We'll do something set up with OpenRouter if you want. Like I'll create a video or something that will help you. But there's a lot on the web. So what Elaine is talking about is there's not. I don't think there's. Maybe there is. There might be an OpenRouter node, but if there isn't, you can use HTTP request.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah. So you would use HTTP request, and remember in one of the prompts today, Elena, you can actually copy one that will tell you exactly how to set that node up. So you'll tell it OpenRouter, and that it'll go find the docs for OpenRouter and be able to give you what you need to put into the HTTP requests. So it's actually going to do that for you. AI can actually help you with that specific thing. And what Elena has is OpenRouter lets you access a whole bunch of large language models, including OpenAI. You still got to pay a little bit. Now, here's one thing, Elena, to think about. When you're doing something that costs money, when you run that node, right, you can pin it. There's a thing called pin. You right click and it'll say pin.
Yeah.
If you pin it, it won't run that node again. So then you can use that data and keep testing things farther down the workflow. So, and I would copy the data out too. So I would copy that data out, put in a little document so I could use it again in the future. And so that way you're not hitting the AI every time once you get a good output that you want.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what. So try the AI prompts today to see if it'll help you with the OpenRouter. If you get stuck, let me know. But I think that even on YouTube, there's some great tutorials to walk you through. But I'm telling you, I think OpenAI is going to help you. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yes, I was using it.
Yeah, or ChatGPT, whatever. Yeah, not the API, but the ChatGPT.
Yeah, normal ChatGPT.
Yeah, and you can always message me. Elena is one of the winners, so she gets direct access. So you can always message me. I'll help you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? You're welcome. Umesh, but is there anybody else who's a winner who has a question? Okay, Umesh, go for it, man.
Hi, Judas. Hi, everyone. Thank you. I have the how we can create a prompts for a N8 and MCP to build a workflow.
Yeah, so if you go to that N8 and MCP site, it's already built for you. It's ready to go. You don't have to do a prompt or anything. You'll just you'll see the setup because there's a setup you have to go through. But when you do actually set it up, it'll work directly with it.
I mean, we have created a co-founder has given us the workflow structure outliner and all these things. From there to go to MCP, we need to give some instructions for that, right? So
yeah, there's an interface that you can do when you install it, and if you integrate it directly with N8N, which it shows you how to do that, then you can actually paste in what you want, and in that case, you'll just paste in that workflow that's been generated for you, and then N8N MCP will build it for you inside your workflow.
It applies for self-hosting as well?
Yes. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, and there's some really good videos. Like there's even some walkthroughs about N8N MCP that'll get you all through it. I've done them before. They're really good and very easy. But if you get stuck, you can message me in school. No problem, man.
Sure. One more question. Can I?
Sure.
Yeah, I have created the prompts for our LLM models, for example, for an email summarizer. But when we give the a raw script or a raw sentences, it is hallucinating and giving the answers in a different way. So, what is the good process to create the prompts?
Yeah, in this one, you'll see the AI prompt to help you improve your system prompt. So go use one of those prompts in this presentation today. That's going to help you get the output that you want.
Okay, I'll look into it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's in there. It should work great. Yeah, that's the key. And remember to post in what your prompt is, what the output you're getting is, and why it's bad. And that will help the AI make the prompt better.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Shadi, what's up?
And
hello,
congratulations.
How are you?
And congratulations for getting
my turn. So.
Yeah, no, he's just saying congrats. So thank you, Umesh. Have a good one, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shadi.
Hello, Titus. How are you?
I'm great, man.
So first of all, I got my first client, but it wasn't part of your challenge. I just messaged someone in actually in Discord, and I told them like, I'm just making automations. If you need me for something, I will do it. And just I found out that some guy contacted me for a clearance company, and he just wanted more leads, right? So I created like a basic lead generator. I sent it to you. And now I have, but at the same time, I'm making your challenge with another niche, which is content creation. At the same time, to find pure clients on content creation, which is my niche. But for the first part, where I got my client, which is a clearance company, I have more issues right now because I don't know if my workflow will strategically help his company. I don't know if you understood it. Yeah, like, will he find better clients, but better leads with this lead generator that I made for his company? Like,
well, I think you probably need to run it for him, like give him some of the stuff you're getting and say, how's this work? Can we always be like, you can tweak it, you can adjust it, get feedback. I think it'll be useful no matter what.
Okay, I see. But yeah. But I didn't know that there was not a automation AI part in this business, but there was also a strategic thinking, business strategic thinking to have towards our clients, right?
That's right. Yeah, no, it's good. And remember to ask your AI co-founder, because like that question you just asked me, if you asked AI, I would give you some really good advice. Just letting you know. So always put that little sticky note or something on your computer. Ask AI first.
I obviously put my questions in AI and AI told me obviously it was a very great automation because it was making some volume and etc. etc. But obviously the reality of cold email outreaching is maybe kind of different than the AI is hypothetically saying, right? So I don't know. I had some doubts sometimes.
Yeah, no,
It's normal.
in the case where you something needs to be a little bit deeper, then you should engage deep research so that we'll really research out that, and then actually make sure that deep research gets what cold outreach like email opens, let's say it's email, actually are for that industry. So maybe it's like 0.5%. So you have a rough idea of like what expected.
Okay, nice. Okay. Yeah. I didn't think about deep research, but thank you so much. And if now for my second question, if I'm now going towards the content creation niche, my AI suggested me many workflows, one system, but 3 different workflows. Is it normal or?
Well, I don't know what the idea is, so it depends on.
He wanted a like OS Notion Airtable content publisher, like you put some data, brief, video title and everything, and then post it on every social media at the same time, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Even you can take a podcast, it sequences it, split the podcast in different shorts to make a lot of shorts in the same time to post on TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, it sounds cool. This has like a lot of, to me, it sounds like it might be a lot of nodes, and we're trying to keep it down to like 15. So I'm not sure if that's like, I have to look at, maybe you could message me directly and we can talk about that one.
I'm not afraid about getting in a 30 nodes or 40. If I have to spend time on it, I will.
Yeah, no, but that's like, that goes counter to what we're trying to do, which is keep it simple so that we can launch it quicker. And the more, let's think of this, every node you add is like maybe an hour or 2 of debugging if something goes wrong. So if you have 30, that's 30 hours. If you have 10, it's only 10, so forth.
Yeah,
just keep that in mind. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem, man. Does anybody else have any questions or anything before? All right. Well, we can, I don't know how much time everybody has. Oh, go ahead. Sylvia, go ahead.
Hello. I just wanted to ask, I didn't understand what N8N minus MCP does. Can you elaborate again, please?
Yeah, so what it is you think about it, it's a little brain that will build workflows for you. So it might be complicated to set up, but it's something to think about if you're a little more advanced. And it's a little brain that you might be in init and say, please build me. You give it the like an API key to your init, which you can do, and then say, please build me a workflow that does this, and it'll build it. But I think for those on this call or who are watching this video, the best thing is to have AI help you do it. You'll just have to manually do it, but it will give you some benefits, you know. But you can read more about it. There's some videos on it that'll teach you about it. So there's a lot of YouTube stuff out there to help you with that if you want, if you're curious about it.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? And Gary's up. Did you raise your hand, Gary? I can't see. I don't have a good list of people here. Okay, I don't think so. So, okay, who was talking? Sorry.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for all that. It's so deep, although I'm behind, but I'll try to catch up over the weekend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And I want to build this. I think I'm going to spend I'm going to spend the next session going through this part of it, because I want to give you more time to take what I've given you and kind of build out your stuff. But okay. I'm going to build this next section out because it's almost an hour and a half now. So okay. I'll build this out in the next session, but also bring your questions as you're building things. Okay.
Okay. I validated my stuff, so I'm gonna go over the second session today since I have a day off, and then I will go over this after that. And then definitely my question, I'll send it to you.
Excellent.
In one-on-one.
Good.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Gary, what's up, man?
Hey, brother. I couldn't unmute for some reason. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
That's all right. Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, I just had a question. I know in our chat, a couple of us had the deep research issue where it just keeps loading. Have you seen that before? And is it just the way we prompted it? Do we need to just reprompt it?
No, it's just that, with free services, there's always that bugginess and problem. So I maybe just try again. If you have access to DeepSeek also has some stuff, and I think they might be free. And they were working with somebody for that one, but you could probably just go straight to DeepSeek. But also try Perplexity. That's a really good one. I think that might help. They may have some free stuff. ChatGPT is free, and I don't know if they give you full deep research, but you could try that one. So Perplexity is really good too. Maybe try that one. Let me know. Just ping me in our group.
Cool.
But yeah, it shouldn't take what was it? How long is it? 99 minutes or something?
No, it's probably still going. I haven't been on the site.
Yeah, it's not working then, man. It should, if I use deep research with OpenAI, for example, it might take 7 to 10 minutes. So if it takes more than 15 minutes, something's wrong. Go to Perplexity though. I think they may have a free tier. If you need free, go for that because that might help you. And then try ChatGPT also. Those two, see if you can get it. And let me know if you get stuck or something.
Cool. All right. And just as far as questions, and this is really good. It was so informative. I didn't really have questions, but I'm excited to get off this call and go step by step, with what I have so far. So thanks.
Yeah. And I realized I didn't cover a lot in the hands-on because there's so many good YouTube tutorials. And there's also really good AI help that's going to help you with the workflow and debugging it. But I'm also going to go through that build time because I think that this is going to give you guys some time. And then on Saturday, as I go through building something, I'll teach you some stuff about building, but it's not essential for you doing what you need to do now. I think you can accomplish what you need to do now. And then Saturday, I'll do more building through this one, and we should be good to go. Yeah, somebody else have their hand raised? I'm not sure.
Yes, I just here's Silvio Michael. Again, I just wanted to say that I offer this that people send me their prompt and I put it into a GPT or AI and do that for them if they have some access problem.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that, man. And you're in the AI Titus school, so you could post it in there. I think you have already, but just post it again today for people who might be on the call to look at that. But definitely, that's awesome.
Yes, I do that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I can't emphasize enough this phrase right here. Let's see, where's it at? I'm gonna find it because I want to make sure that everybody, where did I put that? This one. I want to make sure that people don't give up because you can't learn if you give up. For example, if you want to work out on the weights and you just stop lifting weights, you're not going to get stronger. So it's going to be painful and it's going to feel hard, but that's normal. So don't give up. I know you can do this. And I believe with AI and YouTube, if you have to go through specific videos, I don't know how to set up Airtable, for example, you might say, there's a really awesome YouTube video for that. So YouTube can help you kind of walk through the flow. AI can help you know what to do and fix your problems. Those two together, I'm not even needed, honestly. So just remember that AI is your first, that's who you go to first. Don't give up. That's the key. And I want to let you know that, and I'll take a couple more questions if there are any, that this concludes session 1 of week 2. But then next session, I'm going to build out a simple workflow, kind of show you that process, just so you get a good idea. Most of you would have gone through this already, started to build stuff. Maybe you'll pick up some stuff, but most YouTube videos are amazing. I'm not any special person, but I maybe give you some tips and stuff. But most of you can get the stuff on YouTube. So remember, I've kind of equipped you with the AI prompts you need to find the YouTube videos you need, or to solve the problems that you need solved, like your errors, other stuff like that. So does anybody have any more questions before we end today of our 2-part series? All right, well, I appreciate you all. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and Saturday I'll see y'all, and you just keep hustling. Don't remember, if you get stuck, what's the answer? Ask AI first, and then if you need help knowing how to build something out exactly, just go to YouTube. Literally use AI to find it. So, all right, everybody, have a good one. Have a good day. Appreciate
Thank you,
y'all.
Titus.
Yeah, no problem.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, guys.